this is Ilina and welcome to another LDRS creative card video. Today I'm using some of the new October release. I'm using the Perfect Petals layering dies. This creates beautiful flower. Also, I will be using sentiment from the Peony stamp set and the coordinating die. So you can see the large sentiment, it says amazing, and there are a few more sentiments that go with amazing, so you can put together different sentiments. So here is on the back of the packaging. You can see the assembled die. And here I have a sample. We're not going to use yellow and orange. We're going to use just orange and darker green for the flowers. I just wanted to show you how that looks all assembled. So by magic of YouTube, I've already die cut all the pieces. I have 3 of each to create 3 large flowers and 3 little they're not really buds, but they're smaller, like not fully bloomed flowers. And I have a bunch of leaves. Also, I have a panel of glimmer, like pearlescent navy blue cardstock for our background. So let's assemble the flowers. So I'm adding some liquid adhesive on back of that second layer from the flower. And I'm using lighter and darker orange. I thought that was perfect for fall and it coordinates very nicely with the dark blue background. So those are also very easy to line up. You can see that some of the petals they line up completely where some are left out. Also the layering guide that you can see on the back of the packaging for the layering, how it goes. So okay, we have the base of the 3 flowers. We still need to do the center of the flowers. Here I have leftovers from the green cardstock that's inside the die, so I'm just removing those and preparing those to be assembled onto our panel for the card. Let's do the centers now. I have die cut them from lighter and darker brown cardstock. And I'll repeat the same process, layering those together. Also, those are very easy to layer too. Just adding liquid. I find that adhering all this with liquid adhesive is the easiest because it gives a little bit more time to move it around in case you don't adhere it straight or lined up, so it gives you some time to line those up. So now let's adhere the centers onto the flowers. Okay, we have one. We're going to repeat the same for the other 2 as well. Okay, I think that looks good. And then one more. Okay, now let's assemble the smaller flower. This has 3 layers. The smaller flower does not have a center. However, it has the little stem that I die cut from that dark green cardstock. The same colors as I die cut the leaves. I'm just adding all the orange layers, and then at the end I will add the green ones. Okay, now let's add the green. I'm adding something heavy, in this case acrylic block on top, so it dries nicely and flat and all the areas get adhered to the flower. Okay, now we have everything together, and here's my navy panel, like pearlescent navy color. It measures 4 by 5 1/4. What I'm doing here, I'm just arranging all the die cuts to see how I want my background to look. So I think that is pretty good. What I'm doing now, because I like the arrangement, I'm using press and seal. And that way I'm lifting up all the die cuts together. Now they're kind of stuck to that press and seal. And I will add adhesive on the back and then adhere it to the panel as a full, as one piece. Then when it's adhered to the panel, I'll remove the press and seal and let that adhesive dry. I'm just adhering those die cuts that are overlapping on the back and then adding adhesive on the entire back. So I'm flipping it over now and I'm adding it onto my cardstock panel. So now I'm gently removing that press and seal and everything is pressed down. Just pressing down. I'm gonna turn it over, put it on the side and put something heavy. Again, I am putting some acrylic blocks, but you can put anything else heavy that you have handy. So now let's stamp the sentiment. I'm using the Peony stamp set. I'm using the Amazing. And then I decided to add that you're nothing short of. So the sentiment will say you're nothing short of amazing. So I'm using some Watermark ink, clear Watermark ink. I'm stamping a few times. I'm using the same cardstock, the pearlescent navy or shimmer navy. And I'm using white embossing powder to emboss it. I'm gonna shake off the excess. I had a little bit scattered there. So I'm using very tiny paintbrush that I don't paint with usually. So usually I just use for removing excess embossing powder for like some scattered specks. Okay, now let's heat set that. Making sure that the heat tool is nice and hot before I start applying that heat to our sentiments. Okay, now we're all done. Now I'm going to use the coordinating die to cut out that amazing, and also we'll die cut 3 more of those so we can stack them up to add dimension instead of adding foam tape. So by magic of YouTube, I have those sentiments and the backing, and I have cut that you're nothing short of, and also some cardstock strips to stack those up too. Also die cut there, you can see navy panels. That's a regular navy cardstock. To add dimension, instead of adding foam tape on the back, I decided to go with navy cardstock. So when you look up from the side, you don't see that white because we have darker colors, and I didn't want that white foam tape or white craft tape to stand out, and I did not have navy foam tape. So I'm adding that. So we have 4 layers for that amazing. That's 4 thick. The one that's stamped and embossed, and 3 more. So now I'm just using my scissors to trim off the excess from those flowers from the panel. I'm just going carefully where I have more than 1 layer on those flowers, especially where we have the center, so we're just going slowly over those. Okay, so we're done there. I'm pushing those to the side, and now we can assemble the card. So I'm trimming that sentiment down, that strip down. And then I'll add 3 layers of navy cardstock on the back to add some dimension. I'm repeating the same process like I did for the amazing. I'm adding liquid adhesive and then stacking those up together. Okay, now I'm adding that last piece. So it will go like that. I'll adhere those to the panel. I'm trying to make sure that that's nice and straight. And then I'm adding adhesive on back of Amazing, and I'll stick that down too. I'll put my acrylic block and let that dry while I'm adding again adhesive to the backing panels that will add dimension. I have 3 of those. Those are a little bit shorter and narrower than 4 by 5 1/4. Just a smidge, not even an 1/8". So they stack nicely on the back. And we avoid the chance of uh, that backing sticking out. So I also created card base using the same navy shimmer cardstock. I created top folding card base that I used 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of cardstock, and I scored at 5 1/2. So I adhere that panel there, and then now for finishing touch, I'm adding some Nuvo drops. Actually, those are not Nuvo, they're generic, but they're clear enamel dots, and once applied, I will let these dry before handling the card. Okay, here is a little closer close-up of the card. And thank you so much for stopping by today, and I hope that you like this video. And don't forget to check our blog and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!